with Connor David of the Bridgeport Bluefish. Connor, you're in your first professional season with the Bluefish after coming over from the University of Connecticut, playing your collegiate career there. Talk about the baseball program there at UConn and how they helped in your development to becoming a professional baseball player.
Yeah, well, UConn's a great program. We've had a number amount of guys come out of there. I think there's 4 major leaguers right now: George Springer, Matt Barnes, Nick Ahmed, and Scott Oberg's actually up right now with the Rockies. Michael as well. They have a great program that's really centered around process and around focusing on the task at hand and what's really important right now in the moment. I think that idea of creating a certain process and being able to deliver on that process every day is what has helped me to take my game up from a high school player, to through college to professional baseball. It's really that whole thing of you got to get your work in. You need to know what you want to do every day to get better, and that's really something that I've taken to heart, something that I've believed in ever since I've been playing baseball. So that would really help my process there.
And like you just mentioned, a ton of guys from UConn are playing in affiliated ball now, and even the major leagues. Who are some of the teammates you had there that you got to play with that's playing affiliated ball right now?
Jeez, Vinny Sienna is probably the closest teammate that I have that's playing right now. LJ Mazzilli, they're both with the Mets. I think Vinny's in High A and LJ's in Double A, I believe. Most of those guys actually got drafted before I got there, but they've been back and forth, and they're great guys to have around. They have a lot of knowledge, knowledge of the game and the whole league and everything, which is great. They share with us. But Anthony Marzi, who's actually on the New Britain Bees, I got my first hit off him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We lived together in the same facility, the same apartment complex my junior year when he was a senior, so I got really close to him. And him being a pitcher and me being a catcher, obviously we were close in general. But it was a pretty cool experience to play against him and to face him for my first hit was awesome too. So it was good.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So you're the catcher for the Bluefish here. Not a position everyone always wants to play, catching. Were you always a catcher, and what is it about catching that you enjoy and can embrace the challenges that come with that position?
Yeah, well, I mean, I started catching when I was about, I want to say 9 or 10. It was more of a need thing. I grew up wanting to be a shortstop. Derek Jeter was my favorite player growing up, so I idolized him a lot. And, it's always cool to play shortstop. Everyone wants to play shortstop. Everyone wants to be, starting shortstop on the all-star team, the high school team, college, Major League Baseball, whatever it is. And then actually one day we needed a catcher for the team, so I did it in Little League, I want to say, in youth baseball, and then I did it for my travel team. And ever since then, I kind of just fell in love with it. And being a left-handed hitter and a right-handed throwing catcher, it was always something that people were like, hey, you got to stick with that position because being a lefty and throwing righty is something that they want for catchers. They really do appreciate that. And then I fell in love with the position mainly because I like to be in control, to be like a leader. And I'm not the loudest guy in the field, but I'm definitely locked into every pitch, and I know what's going on. And I try to watch the game even when I'm not playing. But being a catcher just allows you to establish yourself as a leader, whether it's through actions or vocal. I think better than any other position because you're in every single game, every single pitch, which is a really big responsibility. But at the same time, I wouldn't imagine baseball anywhere else. I mean, I played outfield, I've pitched, but being behind home plate just feels home to me. So I really love it back there.
Great. Now you joined the Bridgeport Bluefish for your first professional season. How did you come about joining the Bluefish?
So I actually, at the end of the year last year when I graduated, I came to a tryout here. They already had 3 catchers on the roster last year. So I took the summer off. I played in the local league. I played for the Milford Hunters team, the team that scrimmaged here. And I started coaching in the fall a little bit. I was doing stuff for my degree with economics. I was taking financial exams, trying to study for those. And then I put in a lot of work this winter to give it one more shot, and then I ended up actually in the spring training for the Can-Am League for the New Jersey Jackals. Yep. And I was down there for about 6 days, and Alberto Martinez, who is used to be a player coordinator here, player development coordinator, he texted me and he said, hey, one of the Bluefish lost one of the catchers. They only have one guy. I can't promise you anything, but would you want to come up here? And, being from Connecticut and being 40 minutes away, it's something that I would love to do. I love my hometown. I love my family and my friends. So the more time I get to spend around them and play the game I love, it's even better. So I didn't think I would play here, and then all of a sudden, I get a text and I jumped right away. So I was happy to be here, and I'm really happy to be here now anyways.
Yeah. Now, playing the Atlantic League, some say it's a AAA caliber league, playing with guys that have played in the major leagues and against former major leaguers. How have you adjusted to playing in the Atlantic League and to play with all these veteran players? That must be really awesome for you.
Yeah, it's a cool experience. I mean, I know I watched Andy Chavez, I watched Stan Johnson. I'm sure I've watched a bunch of other guys and haven't even realized it that I've been in this league or played on this team. But for me, I think the biggest thing is that I just have to establish myself as a hard worker and someone that's willing to put in the time because, I mean, I don't have any professional experience. I never played affiliated baseball. I'm just a college kid to these guys, but, I think by being able to work hard and put in my time and almost earn my spot on the team. They really respect that and they appreciate that. So I try to, catch as many bullpens as I can, get as much extra work in as I can, and show everyone that I'm working hard, that I want to be here. And, luckily I've had the opportunity to play and I've played well. So, I think it's helped a lot too. But it is a really cool experience. I try to get as much knowledge as I can from these guys, the secrets, some tell you this, some tell you that. So you try to get all that in, and it's been a really great experience.
Yes, like you've mentioned, you've been performing really well so far in your first season with the Bluefish. How have you just pitching or playing against pitching like that, and also doing defensive work with the pitchers all the time?
Yeah, well, one of the things I struggled with, I'd say throughout my college career, was just being a consistent hitter. When I was growing up, actually in high school, hitting was like my forte. That was my go-to. My freshman year, I hit pretty well, but I kind of lost. There's a whole process with hitting. There's a whole thought process. There's a whole, idea behind the swing, and I got away from that, and I kind of just wanted to, let's just hit home runs, or let's just hit kind of thing. And you can't do that, especially when you play 140 games a year in this league. You have to get your work in, and it has to be a short amount of work, because if I hit for 2 hours every day and came out and played, I'd be, exhausted by the third week. But, just getting the opportunities against these guys, and I'm in the 7th or the 8th hole right now, the 9th hole, I'm going to see a lot of fastballs. And when it comes down to it, if you can't hit a fastball, you can't play baseball. So I just try to hit fastballs and hit them good. And, I've got some pretty good contact so far, which is good. I've seen this velocity before. I played in the Cape Cod League and the NECBL, which are both good competition for collegiate leagues. And we played in a very good conference at UConn. So I've seen, velocity. I've seen 95, 96, 98. But seeing it consistently at 92, 93 is a little different. And, I had to shorten up a little bit. I think my first at-bat, I fouled off like 10 balls, and they were all fastballs because I just wasn't on time. But defensively, I love catching, and as long as I work hard, I know I'm going to be able to go out there and catch. But the hitting is, it's all about going up there with an approach and a plan and executing that plan. And if you do, you're more likely to be successful than not. So that's what I've been doing so far.
You hit your first professional home run last week against the Sugarland Skeeters off of John Velasquez, a guy who was playing AAA baseball for the Mets last year. What was that feeling to hit a home run off a guy like that? And did you know it was going out off the bat?
To be honest with you, I haven't hit a lot of home runs lately. So when I do hit one, I'm sprinting out of the box trying to get a double. And, it was I think it was a 1-1 count, and he hung a change up on the inner part of the plate, and I was a little bit out in front, but I caught it just well. And it felt really good. My teammates, they kind of did the silent treatment where no one comes up to you and gives you a high five or anything, which was cool. But yeah, it was, a really good experience. And it's kind of the things that you dream about doing. And, once it happens, you celebrate it, but then you move on to, I want to hit number 2 and number 3, and then eventually down the road. But to get it out of the way early was pretty cool experience.
Final question. You're from Cheshire, Connecticut. You played high school ball at Cheshire. What is it like for you to be back here locally and play for the Bluefish?
Yeah, it's been really good. I've had a lot of people, a lot of friends, family members, people that I played with have texted me, and they're proud of me, and they said, congratulations, we want to come out and see you play. It's just been, a great experience because Connecticut's not really known for a lot of stuff, and professional teams is one thing that we're not known for, that's for sure, with having New York and Massachusetts right there. But to be able to represent my state and my town and my school, it's been a really awesome opportunity. And this is a great place to play baseball, so I'm really proud of it.
Awesome. Connor, thanks so much. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.